Breaking tonight, the Buffalo Police Department is asking for the public's help in finding a missing 15-year-old girl with special needs. The Department of Mineral Resources says the cause of the produced water spill was a valve on the pipeline that was not fastened. The spill was contained by a pipeline trench, and most of the spill has been recovered. Authorities are now charging a St. Cloud man with 6 felonies after an officer-involved shooting last week. According to the criminal complaint, police were called to a residence on the 7,100th block of Northwood Lane for a domestic assault. Pheasant hunters may be in for a tough season as Minnesota's pheasant population has dropped 26% in the last year. Mother Nature just decided, since it's the 1st of November, that we're done with fall and winter is upon us now.
Yeah, well, you know what I say. I think Mother Nature is pulling a fast one on us.
Senator Al Franken is facing a Senate Ethics Committee investigation into sexual misconduct allegations after more accusations unravel. Thanks, guys. Congress was busy this weekend with this new Republican tax bill, and the quick vote on this big bill has left many Americans with questions about what it means for their family. Here's more. The replacement of a Minnesota oil pipeline is stirring up controversy. Trees around Minnesota are already changing colors weeks before autumn, and it might not have anything to do with the upcoming fall season. It certainly has started to cool down these last few days after a pretty warm week last week.
That's right, I noticed that. And
the upcoming Super Bowl is just 2 months away, and Minneapolis city officials are requesting for extra security from Governor Dayton. Mayor Betsy Hodges and Mayor-elect Jacob Frey sent the request to Dayton asking for help with security from the Minnesota National Guard. Being tall has its benefits, and according to a new study, its drawbacks. The research just released Tuesday indicates that taller people have a higher risk for blood clots. The Minnesota Twins played their first playoff game in 7 years, and it didn't go as Minnesota fans had hoped. SCSU consistently uses the preponderance of evidence in all of its criminal cases. So whether a student is accused of theft or vandalism or sexual assault, the level of evidence required for consequences like suspension or expulsion is consistent. A failed sewer pipe has leaked 4.5 million gallons of raw sewage into a New York lake. The Cleveland Indians made history today by winning their 21st straight baseball game. The Indians hold the record for the most games won in a row in the American League. So Minneapolis is getting set to host the Super Bowl this year, which is pretty exciting news for our state. But I also hear that we have some equally exciting news for prep and college sports coming out of St. Cloud. And this comes as pretty significant news to our community, as this was actually one of the founding anchor stores of our mall back in 1966, over 50 years ago. The current Tech High School building just celebrated 100 years this July, but community members as well as school district officials expect that Tech's tradition of excellence will continue through the walls of the new school. While some lawmakers are making a push for tech giant Amazon to build a $5 billion headquarters in Minnesota, in response to North Korea's latest missile test, President Donald Trump says the United States is determined to defend its allies. Democrats did ask to push back the voting on this bill until today so that they could have enough time to fully read the document, but Republicans anticipated that they would have the majority vote on this one, so they went through with the vote on Friday. Safety is on the mind of St. Paul school bus drivers this fall as the district is trying to increase the number of students who ride. With other major events in big cities like New York, Chicago, Austin, law enforcement officials are trying to assure citizens frightened by the events in Las Vegas that there's nothing to worry about. Thank you, Tanya and Aiden. I had the amazing honor to travel to Washington, D.C. with 75 brave Minnesota men and women who fought for America's freedom. Here's a look into their trip and their stories.